episode of Sharing a Drink with Matt. Today is something new. I've got a bunch of cunts here. It's like the house is full. And we're talking about this little gem, Volume 1, Punk Nuggets. I just want to hear from everybody. What's their view on Punk Nuggets Volume 1?
I'm pretty excited.
Leanne, do you go first? Ronnie?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
do you want me to kick off? I don't know. Look,
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm super grateful to Ronnie and all of you guys for including us in the first volume of Pig's Arse. We're a femme punk band from Canberra, Matriarch. We've been going now for a few years, and the beautiful Kath, who's online with me, she's our third and final lead singer, reflecting the fact that we're all old and a few of the singers have already tapped out. So look, it's not like permanently. They just had other, things going on. But look,
hip
I mean,
replacements.
hey,
Hip replacements.
yeah, that's right. And kind of reflecting on the fact that, we're all kind of doing lots of different things at the moment, including, work and caring for older people and younger people, and just, trying to fit music in around that. It's a uniquely kind of interesting thing. But look, it's super cool. I've loved punk since I was in high school, and my mum told me never to listen to the Sex Pistols. So of course I went out and got a Sex Pistols album, the Nevermind the Bollocks, the next day. And I just love the philosophy, I think, of punk. It's, everyone's welcome and we look after each other, and it's a kind of it's a strong, fierce, but also very kind of loving community. And Pig's Arse is like, so it's such a cool idea, doing something from the grassroots and just getting our own stuff out there. And I love the idea that it's, at the moment anyway, not even going on to streaming sites, because streaming sites are just like such a difficult fucking environment for musicians. So I love the idea of going old school and going on to, doing vinyl and providing merch and hooking up with other interesting, cool bands. We played with the Left Hards last year, so this has kind of come out of that, and I'm looking forward to doing lots more music and meeting up with more people in the punk community.
Is this song Sucks to Be a Girl, is that on any other album, or have you recorded it anything, or did you write the song for this particular
No,
piece?
Sucks to Be a Girl was on the very first Matriarch EP. And I'm sorry, I'm in a car park and there's a massive bin truck that's just pulled up behind us. So, in the true DIY, anything can happen spirit, bear with me if there's beeping and noise. But yeah, Sucks to Be a Girl was on the first Matriarch EP with the very first singer, but we've re-recorded it for this vinyl, and our new EP that's coming out later. And it's been really good fun to re-record that song. Like, I sing it quite differently and kind of just, taken the vocals a bit edgier, I think. And it's been really good. It's a really good fun song to sing. It always goes down well. So we thought that was the perfect track to kind of put on this. It's like, Fast and Furious, and it's very Matriarch. So we thought that was the great one to put on here. And just really want to echo what Leanne said. I'm really, really excited about the vinyl and the fact that it is a bit old school. I think like we all remember, the sort of being in the scenes when all that kind of stuff was the way of connecting with each other. And I also wanted to say that few people here have seen the poster that we've been putting up, and people are loving the Pig's Arse logo as well. Ronnie, I want to let you know that there's been like a really good response to the actual, the name, the logo. People are really excited to see what's coming out in these upcoming promotional gigs.
That's good to hear. I'd like to take credit for the logo, but it wasn't me. It was one of the other Pig's Arse people. But yeah, cheers. It was my name. I thought of the name, so I just wanted to get something really old school Aussie that people say, and I started Googling stuff, and pig's ass hadn't been used for anything, so that's how that came about. Yeah. All right, I really love your track too. It's proper old school in my head, anyway.
It's great.
Yeah.
Was the song that I
had
wrote
it on.
in about 10 minutes. It was just one of those songs that just like came through in a very fast kind of moment, and I think it probably it tells a story of what it's like to be, you know, on the shittier end of the women's body over time. But kind of funny a little bit as well. So, but
my wife loved it.
Some songs come quickly and others kind of, you know, tease you, and you've got to, you know, track
best
them down
ones-
a bit more.
The best ones come quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So thank you. Yes. Is that good? Do you want?
Yeah.
Don't know what you want.
We wanted you to shut up about 5 minutes ago, really.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting that vibe. I'll be quiet. Back to you.
So, Damien, how do you? What's your view on pig's ass?
It's good just to see like the underground doing stuff and releasing stuff. I don't know what old school is really. I only know what I've listened to over the years and what friends have listened to. Yeah, I kind of like I didn't really ever get into that sort of Sex Pistols music when I was growing up. I was more of a I lived on the coast and I was more into like
Midnight Oil, Angels.
No. Anything mainstream stuff, basically. So I sort of actually the biggest thing I went and saw the Buttholes once at Berlin Community Hall in Newtown, and it's never been the same since. That one show just I couldn't listen to anything normal afterwards, you know. So I would have been pretty young then. Anyway, yeah. The Watts. So yeah, the Pig's Arse release is really good because it's, you know, it's sort of the underground scene and what's happening at the moment, and it's good just to get it out there, and you know, it's good for bands and for audiences.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing everyone else's tracks. I haven't heard anything yet. The Warts song, we don't really like. We find it hard to write a short for some reason. But all my other bands.
So you wrote this one for this album, did you?
What's that?
This was written for this compilation, was it?
Yeah. So we actually had trouble keeping it under 2 minutes, but we got there in the end. Like we've done the odd. We covered a VB song once, which was around 2 minutes, but yeah, like the average Wart song isn't 2 minutes, so it was kind of a weird thing for us to have to try and put something together in such a short space of time, but we did it.
You did good. You did good.
Yeah, the whole thing is great.
Yeah, so it's good to see. The sort of underground scene sort of being represented this way, and vinyl, for whatever reason, still sells. So, I mean, someone told me the other day that CDs were coming back, but it's really hard to keep up with all that stuff. And you know, I still like listening to vinyl. Lots of people do. So, yeah, I think that's good.
It's
good to have a physical product. I can't stand downloads and shit, and they sound like they're in a tin can. And
yeah, it's weird.
Like, no, actually, it's like virtual music or something. And like, I like to read words and look at art and the whole package, you know. So
yeah,
I think people are missing out these days on that side of art, you know.
I reckon you're right. Yeah.
But that's just my view. Yeah, it's a bit hard to change things with the internet there. Anyway, yeah, that's about it.
Yep. By the way, Gusset Rats is still asleep.
What's that?
If anybody was, the Gusset Rats are still asleep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a message saying, "Yeah, oh fuck, sorry, we're still asleep." Yeah, you're right.
They did play
Lucky
yesterday.
So yeah, anyone that hasn't spoken, do they want to speak?
Who else is out there?
Ronnie, what about you?
Well, I was just listening to Damien and going, wow, we struggle to write anything that goes for more than a minute and a half. Like I just can't make the song go that long. So that's part of it. Um, but also just short of the song, the more bands the Pig's Arse can get on to the vinyl. So
Yeah.
we're 5 minutes per side. So that's the main part of the reason there. But everywhere we go, every town we go to, there's always this little community of people that are really into that underground sort of punk kind of stuff, and we always make nice connections, and there's great sense of community. So it's especially when we played Lismore last year, I really felt it up there, and there just seems to be all these places around there where it's still huge. So I just got talking to Paul and Kerry from Gusset Rats, and then Shane from Moot. He was part of it as well, and we just loosely kind of chatted amongst ourselves for a while and just came up with, hey, why don't we do this? And because I'd had a bit of experience with my wife a couple of years ago, we had a little similar kind of label going, and that kind of finished, and I was keen to be part of it and just help them out with just the stuff that Shane does, the stuff that Kerry and Paul do, and the stuff that I do that we've all got a bit of experience with. So it's not. It definitely feels like a team effort. Not like we have board meetings or anything. We're just on a thread. None of us knows how to operate anything. None of us knows how to upload anything. But between us, we somehow work it out. And yeah, keeping it very sort of old school, and it's fun. It's just fun, like talking about who's going to be involved and who we've all seen that we think we should be part of it. And every time we go out, the only way I actually see bands is when I play, and then it's whoever we're playing with. That's how I get to see bands. I don't go out that often because I don't have the time or the energy. Yeah, you come across some great stuff, and some of them they're not bands that I've necessarily seen, but you talk to Shane or you talk to Paul or Kerry, and you go, who have you seen that's really impressed you? And that's how the Warts got onto the comp through them. And what an interesting and cool little band. I love that art slant to it and the weirdness and all that. And it as far as making an eclectic, good sounding record rather than a record that just has 7 or 8 of the same kind of song. I think this particular collection is excellent. Like it's pretty diverse. So anyway, it's just a hobby, and thank you all for being part of it. It's been great.
Thanks, Ronnie.
I think there's like a
And it
real
is a
appetite
great-
as well at the moment. It feels
what's that?
like what's going on in the world is, I think there's a bit of a backlash where I think punk is having a real resurgence
Yeah.
across lots of countries, but particularly in Australia as well. And I think, with the success of, Amyl and the Sniffers as well, being such a now big sort of more global band, I think we're just seeing that. I think there's something in society and a lot of the shit we're seeing play out across the world, and just like was happening back in the time when punk emerged initially, I think people are just angry,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
done with the bullshit. And I think a lot of people are looking to connect with something authentic and real again. And I think that's perhaps why it's resonating with a lot of people. And there is a buzz and an excitement. And I agree with exactly what you're saying, Ronnie. There's actually a really nice community, in these sort of regional towns in Canberra, it's there. And there's a lot of reciprocal support for each other's bands, which feels like a really lovely thing in the face of like the big algorithm on the streaming services and everything. And I think what you've done to showcase the different sounds, I think that's spot on, because I think that's what the modern streaming platforms and the modern way of, getting music out there is actually you miss out on a lot of good stuff when it's all subject to that. So take my hat off to you, sir.
I just love too that you play those gigs in those regional places, and there's people like us. We're all a lot of us anyway. We're all in our mid to late 50s, and most of us. And then,
60.
but you're also playing with bands that are in their 20s and 30s, and I love that. You're not just appealing to one demographic. It's quite broad, and they're kind of looking at you, going, "Oh wow, these guys have been doing this forever," and there's
Yes,
still
so
that there, and in reverse, we're seeing what's coming through. Like it's definitely different to what was around when I was first interested in the genre, but it's still good. Like the energy's still there, and it's still funny, like incredibly humorous, and it's also political, and all the things are still there, just delivered in a different way. And that's a great way of meeting younger people. Like
Yeah.
it's and even in my own band, like one of the guys he joined when he was 21, and I was in my bloody 50s. So I'm almost on his grandfather. I mean, all that stuff is cool.
Our drummer's younger than my son.
that punk rock has got no sort of age group too. Like, I mean, in the Watts, for example, there's someone in their 20s, someone in their 30s, someone in their 40s, and someone in their 50s. And we don't even, it doesn't even come up, like,
Yeah, no.
It's just that we're all interested in that sort of music. And
Yeah.
and I see we play too, there's so many different age groups there. So it's just that thing so it's kind of good that it's not some trendy young thing or some old thing or whatever,
Yeah.
I like not ageist.
Yeah, yeah. It's just an old scab that just doesn't heal. People just, I love it. Yeah.
We
think
found it.
I'm shutting up. You guys talk.
Sorry. No, we found it was good to have a young drummer because they don't run out of puff halfway through a song.
We're only singing. All I'm doing is singing, and I'm running out of puff.
Yeah, really.
After the first song.
I'm an old man. I just want my slippers.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I just want my teeth.
there's times when I just we got rehearsal or a gig, and I'm like, oh, I just don't have the fucking energy. I don't want to do it, but I know that the second I get there, you just get this new wind or something, and you're just full of, I don't know, adrenaline and excitement, and you do the gig, and of course you're tired afterwards, but just for those couple of hours when you're watching the other bands and you're feeling the music and watching the players, and you've sort of got to know a lot of people, so you're friends with a lot of the crowd and the bands themselves. That's really exciting. I know I'm going to get that thrill even if I feel shit before I go in and all that. It's the joy is still enough for me to bother with it. Sometimes you have setbacks, and you just go, oh, is it even worth it? Because it's not like we're doing it for the money or anything. And,
tell me this, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Cracking your head on the beam and still bleeding while you're performing. Did you count that as a setback?
Wow. Even though I was bleeding until the end of that.
That was a good day.
That made for some great photos, so it was a good day.
Just got to stop beating up your drummers.
Yeah, that's sort of stuff. You just go, fuck, now we've got to start again, and
that's a very Spinal Tap, Ronnie.
Yeah, we're on to drummer number 6 now, and
I feel like I was going to say we joke in Matriarch because I'm the drummer. Kath has a bit of a turn on the drums, but so far we've done the reverse Spinal Tap because we've knocked out a couple of singers already, and so far I'm hanging in there. But I relate to what you're saying. There's sometimes where I'm like, wow, it's like takes a pound of flesh out of you. And I look at the kit behind me. Sometimes I come up and I just side-eye it and then I walk away. I'm like, it's hard sometimes to get the energy, but then it gives me energy once I get into it. So, but yeah, I was just going to say, like for us, I think we, because we're all older women, and it's such a weird thing that you don't see a lot of women at our age. I know that there are some bands and it's great to see them, but there's not a lot of women of our vintage that are doing this kind of music. Yeah. And for at least 3 of us that are now in Matriarch, we're all women that have kind of got back into music and later in life because of, the pressures and demands of life, and opportunities and access was sort of not always there. So I feel like we're, without sounding like cheesy and stuff, I feel like we fly a flag for people that aren't normally in the scene as well, and kind of go, yeah, you know, like, and punk's so cool like that. Like, you don't have to be the best musician to be able to get up and fucking tell, like, have something to say, make music, connect with people. And I think it's cool. And I always kind of think before we even play any music, I feel like we're doing punk rock anyway, just because, you know, we're all old and meant to be fucking at home hanging out with the cats, and sometimes we are, but like, yeah, for older women, like, you know, having that visibility and making noise and being out there is like kind of punk before we even start playing. So yeah.
And we take our
But if our
HRT
parents could
meds.
see it,
What was that, Kat?
no,
I
but
said
if
we
that-
take our HRT meds and strap up our knee joints. I'm speaking for me now before we go on stage, because, you know, the joint pain management is real for a lot of us, I think, whether you're male, female, or you know, non-binary, or you know, gender diverse. It's a
what
thing.
was it the mum and dad said? What was it the mum and dad said? It's all right, it's a phase. It's a phase.
Yeah. My mum used to say, when are you going to grow out of all this black stuff? And I would say, because I was into like goth, punk, all that from being like 14. And I was like, never. And she was like, yeah, we'll see. And then, you know, she now knows I'm in this band. And she was like, yeah, you're not going to stop now.
I got from my kids, Dad, you just turned 50. When are you going to stop acting like a 3-year-old?
I think once you've lost touch with that inner child, you're fucked. So you keep in touch with it by just keep doing it. Otherwise, what? Go. Yeah.
I said that to my wife last night. Sorry, I'm shutting up.
I said if you stop doing it, you seize up at our age, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. I went not long ago to La La La's and Pingers, Forklift Assassins, and it is the first time in years I woke up with a sore neck. And it was like, oh my fucking God. Like, this is I haven't got the oomph to be in the pit anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially getting your drink spilled. It didn't matter if your drink got spilled. You just suck it off your clothes or something, you know. And I don't know about Aussie punk now with the new up and coming bands and everything. It's good that we have got social media now. Like, you can see who the fuckwits are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to mention the band that put a picture out the other day doing the Nazi salute.
Oh, really? Mm.
I don't know if anyone saw. Yeah, they're Wollongong bands, and I had an interview with them, and I just don't know what to do. But like, and the throwing of the cans up onto the stage, you know, there's like these young. There is a part. I'm not saying all young people in the scene, but there is a part where they're going by watching old punk stuff and going, "I'll say this is how I have to act."
Well, even those old punks that were doing that shit, that was never really punk. That's just being a dickhead and a thug.
That jock hardcore stuff that they started getting into with the with the chains and the shit like that in the 80s. That was wrong.
Yeah, that's never been. That's never been. I've never been interested.
No, it hasn't. No. Well, I interviewed Chris Mazurek, Radio Berman, not long ago, and every now and then I watch the Saints Radio Berman live at Paddington Town Hall, 78, I think it was. Great fucking gig. But in it, Chris Bailey says, I want to thank the Hitler Youth for decorating the place tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I asked Chris Mazurek about that. I said, what was that all about? And he said, because we had that new race that a lot of the Nazi skins kind of took that as a kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. And just seeing it the other day, I'm thinking, look, I grow up, you know, like this is not what punk is all about. Like skinhead, that was reggae, ska, you know.
I have to scoot, but I'm going to just say bye now and thank you for the opportunity to chat. Really looking forward to holding the vinyl in my hand and seeing you folks again. Bye.
See,
Thank you, Kath.
I just want to say to you guys, thanks for being part of it and supporting it. There's plenty more left. If you run out, hit us up because we
Did you send any to Shane, Ronnie? Because I haven't seen it yet.
I only sent them off this week, and because of that stuff, it'll be a while because of all the holidays and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's coming. It should be there. I'm guessing next week, maybe the week after, because it's only a 3-week next week.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
it sounds fucking great. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's cool. You never know what you're gonna get, and it's just the most eclectic bunch of songs. Like there's really old school sounding stuff. There's a hardcore one on there. There's just then the art sort of angle. It's just a great collection of stuff, of what's going on around. Every regional city you go to, there's bands like this that just come out of the woodwork that have their little scene going, and it's an attempt to sort of snapshot that. And if we sell enough of these, we might do a volume 2. Like it's just try and flog them.
I'll buy them all.
I'm not on the vinyl train anymore, but I'll even get one.
So anyway, guys. Before we get stopped, thank you so much for being on here. I really, really appreciate it. It's a great fucking thing. It is a great fucking little sit down, but you got to get straight back up to change sides. But other than that, it's great, and I really appreciate you guys coming on here to let's help flog Aussie punk. Get it out there to the masses.
Well, thanks for doing your show and for the support. And I hope if some people see this and might get interested, just hit up the Pig's Arse Productions page if you want a copy. We're doing it very old school. So, yeah, that's the way to get one. Or go and see any of the bands that are on the bloody record, and they've all got copies. And buy merch. Just buy their merch. If you don't buy the record, just buy a T-shirt or something else of theirs. And that's the way those bands survive and make new recordings and all that shit. So yeah, hope to see you all out there somewhere. Sorry about there's a few cancelled gigs. We had some issues with our own band and had to pull out of stuff, but I'll reorganize and we'll get to play with you all at some point down the track.
All right, thanks Ronnie, thanks Matt.
Thanks Damien, thanks Ronnie, thanks Matt, thanks everybody.
Thanks for your time and looking forward to seeing you all live soon.